Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. The living room was steeped in silence, an almost sacred stillness that carried the comfort of solitude. The soft glow of the TV reflected off the walls as the game played on, offering a welcome retreat from the noise of the world. I sank into the familiar embrace of my chair, a cold beer in hand, while Storm, our steadfast German shepherd, lay sprawled at my feet. His steady breathing filled the room with a rhythm that was both calming and grounding. Hannah was out with Lisa, and the kids were away for the weekend. For once, it was just me, the game, and Storm, a trifecta of peace that seemed to freeze time. In that perfect stillness, life felt unshakably whole. But that illusion didn't last. The creak of the front door shattered the quiet, an ordinary sound that heralded something extraordinary. Hannah stepped inside, her usual vivacious energy absent. Her face, normally so expressive, carried a weight I couldn't place, a quiet storm brewing behind her eyes. "Hey," I said, lowering the volume on the TV. "How was your night?" She didn't reply right away. Her gaze stayed fixed on the floor, her fingers nervously playing with the strap of her purse. The air between us grew heavy, thick with unspoken tension. After what felt like an eternity, she finally spoke, her voice soft yet piercing. "Brandon, we need to talk." I set my beer down, the gravity of her tone cutting through the calm. "What's going on?" I asked, keeping my voice as even as I could despite the sudden surge of anxiety. Her hesitation stretched the moment unbearably, but then she met my gaze. What she said next landed like a thunderbolt. "I want to sleep with someone else." For a second, the world blurred, her words ricocheting in my mind. I managed to choke out, "You... what?" "It's not you," she began, her voice quivering. "I love you, Brandon, I do. But I need to feel something different, something more. I've been lost and I need to feel alive again." I shot to my feet, the chair scraping harshly against the floor. I wasn't angry, not yet. What I felt was something deeper, a consuming disbelief that left me adrift. "Who is it?" I asked, my voice tight. Her eyes fell again. "Anthony Wilson," she whispered, barely audible. The name was a blow to the gut. Anthony, a colleague of hers. Someone I'd met a handful of times and never thought twice about. A man I'd trusted on the shallow merits of acquaintance. This wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment. It was deliberate, thought out. She was asking me to sanction the unraveling of everything we had built together. My mind raced as I began to pace the room, fists clenched against the wave of emotions threatening to consume me. "How long has this been going on?" I demanded, my voice strained. "It hasn't happened yet," she said quickly. "But I need this, Brandon. I need to feel wanted. I need to feel like more than just your wife. Please try to understand." Her plea felt like a knife twisting in my chest. All I could see was betrayal, raw and unforgivable. I brushed past her without a word, my only thought to escape the suffocating tension. Outside, the cold night air slapped against my face, but it did nothing to cool the inferno of confusion and pain inside me. When I returned, clarity had replaced the chaos of the moment. I didn't confront her outright. Instead, I planned. Over the next few days, I meticulously pieced together the truth. I knew her passwords, had access to her messages and emails. The picture that emerged was damning. Late-night calls, flirty texts. It wasn't physical yet, but it was real. It wasn't enough to know. I wanted justice, not just for myself, but for others caught in Anthony's web. Digging into his life, I unearthed a trail of deception. He wasn't just flirting with my wife, he was a serial cheater, betraying not only his fiancée Olivia, but others too, all while maintaining a facade of trustworthiness. I reached out to Olivia, sharing everything I had, texts, screenshots, the truth of who he really was. She deserved to know. Within hours, the fallout began. Olivia ended the engagement, and Anthony's carefully curated life crumbled in spectacular fashion. And Hannah? Her choice created a distance between us that could never be bridged. The weight of her actions lingered like an unspoken chasm, a reminder of what we once had and what she chose to destroy. In the end, I reclaimed my own power amidst the wreckage. It didn't erase the hurt, but it brought me clarity. I wasn't the one who broke us. That was her burden to carry, her regret to live with. Anthony was caught off guard, scrambling to make sense of the chaos descending upon him. But this was just the beginning of what I had in store. With the first steps of my plan underway, I advanced to the next phase, contacting his employer. After carefully analyzing his professional background, I uncovered discrepancies and anonymously sent an email detailing everything. The fallout was swift and merciless. Anthony never saw it coming. Within days, he was called into HR and placed on suspension pending a full investigation. The career he had worked so hard to build was now teetering on the edge of collapse. Meanwhile, Hannah remained completely unaware that I was the one pulling the strings. But I wasn't done yet. The next step was to ensure a public reckoning. I hosted a casual neighborhood gathering, unassuming on the surface, with light refreshments and polite conversation. Beneath the surface, though, I had a calculated agenda. As the evening reached its peak, I stood to propose a toast. To trust, I began, and the consequences when it's broken. The room fell silent, all eyes on me, as I queued up a projector. With a click, the screen filled with the damning evidence I had gathered, texts, emails, and photos that left no room for denial. The silence was deafening. Hannah's face went ghostly pale, and Anthony looked like a man crushed under the weight of his own actions. It was the exact moment I had envisioned. "You thought you could betray me and get away with it?" I said, my voice cold and steady. "You thought there wouldn't be repercussions?" Their stunned expressions said it all. In the days that followed, the fallout spiraled out of control. Anthony lost his job, and his professional reputation was destroyed. His relationship with Olivia crumbled under the weight of his disgrace. As for Hannah, she clung desperately to what was left of her own career, her reputation in tatters. But I wasn't done. I had yet to confront her directly. Hannah's life continued to unravel. Her once close social circle began to distance themselves, and the friendships she had painstakingly built fell apart. I observed her from a distance, watching as she struggled to salvage her dignity. But this was a mess of her own making. I made sure everyone knew the truth about who she really was. She attempted to reach out to me multiple times, but I ignored her messages. There was nothing more to discuss. The damage was done, and her words couldn't undo it. This wasn't about reconciliation. It was about ensuring she understood the weight of her betrayal. At work, her situation deteriorated further. Once valued colleagues avoided her, and her supportive boss withdrew. The cracks in her professional life grew wider until it was only a matter of time before her career fully imploded. By then, she was utterly isolated. While Hannah's world crumbled, I turned my attention to rebuilding my own life. I invested my energy in launching a business I had long dreamed of starting, finding purpose and satisfaction in moving forward without her. My children became my priority. I wanted them to feel safe and supported amidst the turmoil, ensuring they knew I would always be their rock despite the wreckage of our family. During this period of renewal, I met Kathy. She came into my life through mutual friends, a warm, straightforward woman who saw me for who I had become rather than as a victim of the past. Our connection started as something casual, but as weeks turned into months, it became clear we shared something special. Her steady, calming presence brought a peace I hadn't known in years. For the first time since the divorce, I felt genuinely happy. This wasn't the fiery, impulsive passion I had once known with Hannah, but a mature, steady love rooted in understanding and growth. Kathy reminded me of how far I had come, but Hannah wasn't ready to let go. Desperate to salvage what little remained, she reached out to me one evening. Her call carried a tone of urgency, and though I considered ignoring it, I sensed she wouldn't stop until she had her say. Reluctantly, I agreed to meet her. We chose a quiet cafe we had once frequented in better times, a setting rich with irony. When I arrived, she was already there, seated in a corner, looking smaller and more vulnerable than I had ever seen her. The confident woman I had once known was gone. "Brandon," she began, her voice trembling, "I know you've moved on, and I know I have no right to ask for anything, but I need you to hear me out." I sat across from her, my arms folded, listening without emotion. The anger I once felt had faded, but forgiveness still seemed an impossibility. "I don't expect you to forgive me," she said, her voice cracking under the weight of her regret. "But I need you to know how sorry I am, for everything. I destroyed what we had because I was selfish and blind. I didn't think about the consequences, for you or for our family." Her words lingered in the air, heavy with remorse. I listened, unmoved. While I recognized her pain, I knew no apology could ever restore what had been lost. Forgiveness, if it ever came, would not be today. For now, all I could do was let her words hang as a testament to the choices that had brought us here. "Not now, Brandon. I can't make this right." Her voice trembled, strained by the weight of her guilt. "I'll never forgive myself for what I've done." Tears broke free and streaked down her face, but I remained impassive. She had made her choices, and now she had to live with the consequences. Rising from my chair, I spoke with quiet resolve. "You should leave. There's nothing left to say." In the months that followed, Hannah made every effort to reconnect. She left messages, voicemails, even sent friends to intercede on her behalf, but it didn't matter. I ignored it all. I didn't need explanations, I had moved forward. Yet I clung to one lingering thought, her reckoning. Anthony. One calm evening, I sent a brief message to Olivia. "Anthony isn't who you think he is. The truth is out there, just so you know." Olivia had moved on, but I couldn't let Anthony waltz into another life without facing the truth. As time passed, my life settled into something steady and peaceful. My connection with Kathy deepened, giving me a second chance at love. Healing wasn't immediate, but gradually, the sting of the past softened. Hannah had tried to mend what she had broken, but her remorse came too late. The damage was irreparable, and I no longer needed her in my life. I found fulfillment in my children, a flourishing business, and a partner who loved me for the person I had become, not the man I once was. Yet, even as life fell into place, a faint restlessness lingered. Over a year had passed since that fateful night, when Hannah and Anthony's betrayal shattered my world. Though I had rebuilt, a faint thread of unresolved tension gnawed at me. Occasionally, whispers about Hannah reached me. Her life was unraveling, her career on the brink, her friendships crumbling. Those who once trusted her now kept their distance, burdened by her betrayal. Guilt seemed to be her constant companion. Through mutual connections, I heard about her decline. I didn't take pleasure in it, but a cold satisfaction came from knowing she had reaped what she had sown. One gray afternoon, my phone buzzed. Her name flashed on the screen, and for the first time, it didn't stir anger or pain. Instead, I felt an odd detachment. I answered, my voice steady. "Hi, Brandon," she began, her tone tentative and raw, stripped of its former bravado. "I need to see you. I can't keep going like this." Her words sparked something unnameable, perhaps the need for closure, not revenge. "Where?" I asked simply. She mentioned a small cafe I'd never been to. I agreed, not with any hope for reconciliation, but to finally hear her own the destruction she'd caused. I arrived early, needing space to collect my thoughts. When I spotted her at a corner table, I hardly recognized her. Time had etched weariness onto her features. Her once vibrant demeanor was gone, replaced by a somber, hunched figure. She stared into her coffee, unaware of my presence. When she finally looked up, her eyes were hollow, her face pale, and her expression laid bare with regret. "I don't even know why I'm here," she admitted softly. "I'm not asking for anything. I don't deserve anything." I sat across from her, calm. "Then why did you come?" "I just—" Her voice cracked. "I needed to tell you I'm sorry. For everything." I scrutinized her, unmoved. Apologies from her meant little. They were too late to matter. Still, her sincerity was undeniable. Her tone carried the weight of someone who truly understood what she had done. "Do you even realize what you destroyed?" I asked, my voice low but firm. "Do you grasp what you took from me?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded. I know. I ruined everything, and I can never fix it. But I needed you to hear me say it. I needed you to know how sorry I am." Silence stretched between us. Seeing her this broken brought no triumph, only a sense of finality. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about ending a chapter. "I don't need your apology, Hannah," I said evenly. "I've moved on. I rebuilt what you broke, and you're not part of it." She held my gaze, her eyes reflecting sorrow and understanding. "I get it. I hope you find peace." I stood, steady and resolved. "I already have, and I don't need you to keep it." Without another word, I walked away, not bothering to look back. In the months that followed, my life flourished. Hannah's shadow receded into the distance, a memory I no longer felt the need to revisit. Kathy and I grew closer, creating something solid and untouched by past wounds. She didn't try to heal me. She didn't need to. She loved me as I was, a man who had endured and come out stronger. My business thrived, my children blossomed, and I faced the future with renewed optimism. Hannah's sporadic attempts to reach me went unanswered. Her apologies couldn't erase her choices or undo her self-inflicted ruin. I had reclaimed my life, transforming myself into someone resilient and self-assured. No longer defined by betrayal, I had risen above it. And neither Hannah, Anthony, nor the ghosts of what had been could take that away from me. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.